everyone, Jana here at the 4-H office. So we've been doing some cleaning and we've actually been pulling some of our donated fabric off of the bolts, taking the cardboard centers out. And I got wondering, I'm like, boy, these are really nice, very sturdy. Do we really have to recycle them and throw them out or put them into recycled products? I'm thinking to myself, maybe we can recycle it into something crafty. So my idea for today is to take one of these fabric bolts, the cardboard inside, the roll of fabric that you get at like Joann's, and we're going to do some painting and turn it into a rustic farmhouse type sign. So to get started, you're going to need one of these that's pretty sturdy. Contact us at the 4-H office, we got them. You want to make sure that you get the stickers off. I'm having a hard time getting this one off. So I think what I'm going to do is just make sure that I paint this really well, do at least 2 base coats of white before I put my final color on. So to get started, cover your tabletop with newspaper. We don't want to make a mess. Find some white acrylic paint, a paintbrush, a yogurt cup, paper towels, and get started. So I'm just going to give my paint a little shake. I'm going to put 2 coats on. I'm probably gonna have to wait at least an hour in between coats. I don't want to put too much paint on. Remember, this is cardboard, it's not wood, so if we put too much on, it'll start getting really wet, it'll absorb the paint and get kind of soggy looking and it won't hold together real well. So get your board, get started, we'll check back in a minute. So step 2, to take our cardboard and turn it into wood for our farm board decoration. I have my board here. It's been sitting for a couple hours, stuck to the table, but it's on the back side, so that's good. So I have my white paint on here. What we're going to do next is actually blend some different paints. So if you have different shades of browns, maybe a gold or a red, depending on how dark or how much like cherry you want your wood to look, you're going to want to grab those. So I'm going to use a little bit of gold, and what we're just going to do is just drop some paint randomly on our board, our cardboard. And we're actually going to use our paintbrush and paint strokes to blend our paint to create our wooden look. Now, if you wanted to, you can get your base on, do some white stripes or some lines to make it look like pieces of wood, like individual strips. Or if you really want to get fancy, you could do something a little bit fancier with your design. And you would just take the white paint with your brown paint while it's wet, adding a little bit more brown to blend it, but to give that darker line where you would have your individual pieces. Now I'm just going to make one big barn board. I'm not going to get too fancy with it today. I'm just going to take my brush, start painting and blending as I'm going, but I'm going to go one way with my brush. I'm not going to go this way and then this way and make circles or anything. I want it to look more of a grain just going in one direction. So we're just going to start blending. And if you need to, if it's not turning out quite right or you need some more paint, just start adding more blobs to it. But make sure you work out the paint that you have on there first to kind of take a look at it to see what you like. Now you'll need to work quickly so that your paint isn't absorbed by your cardboard too much and you can still work on it. All right, so my brush is getting pretty dry. I think I've used up quite a bit of my paint. Just to show you what I've got going on here. So I've gone from white to this. What I'm going to do is just add a little bit more of the brown and the gold, especially in the areas that I don't have a whole lot of paint, and just keep on blending it. Following that, I'm going to work on the sides and get them blended in so that the edges of my cardboard look like wood as well. So once I have everything painted and blended, I'm going to let that dry and then we'll move on to the next step. Just have to show you before we do go on to the next step, because I'm quite excited about this and how well it worked to blend those 2 colors, a little bit of gold with some dark umber. You could use a little bit more colors in it, but also with this cardboard from the fabric, if you look, it kind of has some ridges in it, so it looks like I've got some boards there And then I've also left some spaces, not very many, and very small, white to look like weathered board, to make my board quite weathered. So now I'm definitely going to tie in my edges, let it dry, and then we'll put the decorations on. Okay, so for the next step, once your brown is dry on your barn board, what you're going to do is put your design on. This is the part where you can use like a stencil to do a saying, to put some pictures on. If you wanted to attach with some glue, maybe some different items, you know, if you had some fake flowers, or if you wanted to do a saying using like nuts and bolts and washers or something cool like that, this is the time to do it. So center your design if that's what you want. I'm actually painting with white paint to make it look more rustic and kind of like a chalkboard type finish. I'm not being perfect with my painting. It's not getting filled in. I'm leaving a little bit of streaks to make the writing on it look chalky but also old like my board. When I'm finished with the painting, I am going to put a light coat of polyurethane on to protect it on the front and on the edges. Not too much, and make sure you have the can at least 12 inches away. We don't want to soak the cardboard or discolor it at all. So we're going to do that. When I'm done painting and the polyurethane's on, everything is dry, my finishing step is to put some hangers on it. And what I'm going to do is take the jumbo paper clips. I'm going to take 3 of them because I have such a long board. You could do 2. But definitely try it with 2 first. If it doesn't work, put that 3rd one on to hang it. And what you're just going to do is get your hot glue gun, flip your board over, put a nice puddle of hot glue in there, and put your hangers. And you want to space them equally, so you'll need your ruler, do a little bit more measuring. But what you're going to do is put your paper clip on so that the top of the paper clip is level with the top of your board. And hot glue the bottom part, but leave the top so that you can bend it out slightly to catch your hanger, your nail, your screw, whatever you're hanging this with. If you choose to, you could also just put 2 paper clips on, bend them out a little bit, and maybe get some twine or something else rustic, maybe some fencing wire or something to make a hanger to hang your sign.